self-righteous. Usually, let's say when you get involved in your hustle and it's really starting to make money, you're going to run into people who just misunderstand what you're trying to say. You're going to be looked at as being condescending, arrogant. I know it happens to me. It happens to me not as much as it used to. Probably primarily because I learned how to change my voice a little bit and talk in a manner that I guess doesn't seem to offend. But it's going to come to all of us, because as your hustle grows, as your business grows, you're confident in what you do. That confidence is going to show up in just about everything you touch, from real estate. Even if you don't do real estate, you're still going to feel confident about it. If you wanted to make ice creams, homie, you would feel confident about it. What I'm going to talk to you today is pretty much about how this can really get run amok, and how we need to really sit down and regroup sometimes and really think about where we are in our state of the hustle and how things are going. So the Self-Righteous podcast is primarily making you pump your brakes, partner, before you get too far off into the game. Let me start off with the two kind of cats you're going to meet in this hustle. In the beginning, you're going to meet a bottom-up cat, probably just like me. Usually run into cats like this all the time, whether their hustle pays off, whether they're selling incense, whether they're trying to do anything. You're in the beginning, they're in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Everything is lovely. You can share. Everybody can talk. Right now, you're at the bottom of the grind. You're sitting there saying, let me get out there and make it happen. Money is coming in. Checks are getting cashed. You're smiling, walking out of the bank. You can't believe it. And you start to get a little, you start to feel yourself like any other person would that thought of an idea and it's coming into fruition. You're sitting back thinking, I'm doing good. I'm out here really making things happen. This is the first cat you're going to meet on your way up, because there's a lot of cats who it's like, I used to tell people it's like the music industry with hustle. Some people can sing, but they're not on the right label. Some people can't sing, and they're on the right, they got the right producers. You dig? I mean, I use music as an example of sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes you got the right hustle, but you're selling it to the wrong angle. Sometimes you got the wrong hustle, but you're such a good salesman that things just pop for you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's fickle like that. The second cat you're going to meet in this hustle is kind of like the middle cat. And I mean that by saying he didn't come from the bottom up. This cat probably just has a family of businesses. Father was in business, mother's in business, third uncle's in business. And they approach the game a lot different than what you're used to if you're coming from the bottom. These cats approach it somewhat as a really almost like a game, I guess. You know what I mean? I haven't gotten to the point where the chips are so lovely that I think the money is a game. This is real deal stuff. I'm in it to win it. But you're gonna meet cats who really. Let me give you a good example. Let me give you a better example. When I started my company, right, I doubled down on everything. I moved from Brooklyn to Jersey City. I went from a nice apartment, you know what I'm saying, a little town, not a townhouse, a brownstone little area over there in Washington, Lafayette. If you from, New York, you know where I'm talking about, where all little shops at. And I was over there chilling, nice place, lots of women, feeling good life. But when I started to say I really got to go in and do this business, I doubled down, moved over there to Jersey City, you know what I'm saying, got me a one bedroom apartment. I had roaches kamikazing off the roof on me, homie, you know what I'm saying, but I slept near my fax machine. It was right in my room, and I had one computer, rebuilt computer, and that's how the whole hustle started for me. You know what I'm saying? But I doubled down, and I started going to work at night being a telemarketer. You dig? I mean, I didn't know if my stuff was going to bubble, so I had to sit there and say, let me get some extra side hustle money. But let's say another cat, same situation. I had another dude doing the exact same thing I did. He went and got a nice office. He started you know, me and him would talk about things, and he would ask me, Freeman, how'd you get around this, and how'd you do this? And I'm just telling him, you know, I didn't hire any messengers, homie. You know, I jump in my car and I go down to where I got to drop off the paperwork, and I do this all myself. I'm not rich enough to allow myself to pay for people to walk things that I can do myself. You know, I was just cutting all the corners, but this cat thought that way business was running. So he had computers, he had an office, he was ready to grow. He had everything ready to go except clients. You dig? He really thought that was the way, because in his mind the vision was prepare the ground. You understand what I mean? Let me get everything ready to go, so when it's time, I'm just going to pop. For me, I just said, you know, like I always do, I know there's 10 steps, and I know I'm going to make some mistakes, but I'm going to run as fast through those 10 steps so my mistakes are going to look small. But for him, he already got to level 10. Everything's looking lovely. You come into the office, no one's there but him, but it looks like, you know, it should be bubbling. He got copy contracts and all kind of craziness popping in this spot. But long story short, we both went about it wrong. Now, I did it to save money. He spent too much money. In the end, I'm around. In the end, he's not. You know what I'm saying? But the game is, it was a little bit of both. Maybe I could have moved up a notch. Maybe I could have did something. You know what I'm saying? What I'm really trying to get you to understand through this whole self-righteous post is, or podcast, is, you know, you're not going to know everything. Don't let the fact that your company succeeded make you forget when you didn't know anything. I never let the fact that things are better now than they were when I started, and it's a whole different story than the day I was sleeping next to my fax machine in Jersey City. I never let myself forget that I didn't know nothing, that I was so scared that I used to, you know, lift weights 3 times a day, 5 a.m., noon, and like 7 p.m. every day. You know what I mean? Trying to make sure to get rid of all that nervous energy, you know? And I never let myself, I have a picture of myself that I keep, you know what I mean, in front of me to remember the day I started, so I can see how scared I was. Even in the picture, I could see how intimidated I was by the whole process. And what I'm really trying to make you understand is, a lot of cats, when the business gets big, they talk major, you know, they start talking to people like they know everything. And you know what I mean? Like, whatever they do pops. And I mean, confidence is one thing, arrogance is another. You know what I mean? No matter how big your hustle gets, there's more for you to learn. And if you're really about money, see, most people, they're in this for some kind of title, or they want to be known for something. I don't know if they want to be the best R&B singer. I don't know if they want to be the best plumber. You know what I mean? I'm not in this for the titles. You're talking to raw cash. You understand what I mean? That's the game I deal in. I don't really care if you know who I am. I don't really care if you notice my car. I don't really care if I'm not toasting with cats or going to parties. I'm in this for chips. I'm here to build something, you know what I'm saying, that's like an empire. That's my goal. You know what I'm saying? But most people, they get into this game and I think they want titles and fame. I just think they got it mixed up. They hope they make money on the way to being famous. But what I want you to understand is you have to humble yourself. You know how many books I've read in my life in the past before let's just use a 1 year period before the business even popped. I must have spent about $3,000 on Amazon. I got like 7 boxes of books. This was when I was in law school. I could have been studying for law, but on my way out, I kept telling myself, I better get prepared. You know what I mean? To this day, I probably read about 3-4 books a month. You know what I mean? I'm always trying to tell myself there's more to learn. You don't know everything, Freeman. You know what I'm saying? When I write these blogs, I'm listening to what you guys tell me. You know what I'm saying? How things are popping. You know what I mean? When I ask you to send an email, it's because I want to keep myself sharp and always thinking, you know, like the young cat who sent the thing about the party promotion. I'm still going to dig up some more stuff for you, young man. You know, I'm still kind of young man. I ain't that old, but you know what I'm saying, cat? I'm going to still try to get some more information for you because I want to know myself. You know what I'm saying? It keeps my brain focused on new ways of making money. Most cats, when they get into this, this is your downfall. The day that you think you made enough, the day you think you know enough, there's a young cat like me sitting next to the fax machine doing what you said your time is too valuable to do. You understand what I mean? And I'm not coming to work for you. I'm not coming to sit up under you so I can make you money. You understand what I mean? I'm going to make my own. I'm going to do for myself. And this is, I look at that, and I got cats who in other cities, Chicago, you know what I'm saying, Milwaukee, Jersey, New York, Virginia, you know what I'm saying, you name it, I was there. And I got cats about my age, and we all trying to do big things. And we all try to talk about how we need to stay humble despite the fact that we bubble, you dig? Like, it's other cats coming for us. They really coming. This is what the nature of the game is. There's a young man right now, probably homeboy in D.C. right now, partner, sitting here listening to all the stuff I'm giving him, thinking to himself, if I can just line it all up, I'm going to come out here and beat everybody. And I hope you do. But let me give you a little bit of a warning, homie. When you see me, I ain't quitting yet. I'm coming to fight too. But the thing is, you know what I'm saying, we have to stop being self-righteous about business. And it's going to happen to you, okay? Confidence, and when the chips start coming in, you're going to feel good about everything you touch. I mean, I used to tell people I got the Midas touch, man. You know what I'm saying? That's when I was at all-time high with feeling myself. You know what I'm saying? I used to think no matter what it is, you know what I'm saying, send it into Freeman, and I'm Alexander Graham Bell, homie. I make things ring, partner. I mean, you know what I'm saying? People don't know how much the confidence increases off of it. But I always kept that picture of myself, saying you were that scared, you know, cat sitting over there in a city you never been in with mice running by, and I didn't care who was coming. I had to get out there and make it happen, and I did. So what I'm trying to get you to understand with this self-righteous disease that a lot of people have, you know what I'm saying? They think they know computers. They think they know so much that when you talk to them, you understand what I mean? They think you're wasting their time. Right? They think you have nothing new to offer. Even a cat who doesn't know the game you're in still can give you some insight. This cat just is not trained like you. You understand what I mean? You come into the game, and sooner or later you get into the game and you accept all the rules. That's the way it is. You accept the way it is, say this is the way to make money. Until a young cat comes into the game and says, you know what? I never grew up with these rules. I'm going to go ahead and try to do something different. And he catches everybody off guard. This is the nature of the game. This is the way competition really is. So if you don't sit back and calm yourself down and always keep yourself in grind mode, young, you know what I'm saying? Keep yourself in the mode that we ain't there yet. It's going to keep you aware of what's going on. But if you decide to do like everybody else does, and they always talking down on people, always trying to make sure people know that they're the best, always talking like what they do ain't never going to stop, you know what I'm saying? Then you're going to be in for your downfall, homie. Never allow yourself to get to the point where you think you did it. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of people who tell you, this is, you know, I'm living good, I'm doing well, I'm this, like they act like, you know, the water ain't gonna stop. You dig? You know what I'm saying? Electricity just not gonna stop flowing one day. This cat is sitting there thinking that, and he gonna lose. Most of the cats who are in that kind of position right now, they hire a lot of youngins. This is how they take your hustle away from you. They hire you in, give you a corner office, give you a parking spot. You know what I'm saying? I had cats when I was in the game, right, when I was my last job. The cat, when I was leaving, he said, you know, young Freeman, I'm going to give you 150 grand. I was 24 years old. I'm going to give you 150 grand. I'm going to give you the new Cadillac CTS, and I'm going to get you a spot in Manhattan. Now, I'm a young man, you know what I'm saying? I was making a lot less than that, but I was on top of my game. And guess what I did? I know y'all thinking I'm a fool. I walked away. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the cats and said, why didn't they give me that in the first place? You cannot make a deal with a man who didn't want to be square with you in the beginning. Now you want to be square in the end because he's seeing that you're about to win. You dig? Do not let yourself be in that position. But I caught him off guard. He is my competition right now. You understand what I mean? And he was for the last 4 or 5 years. You understand what I mean? He's always been around, sending me special little gifts, you know, trying to see if I want to come back and all kind of craziness. But you know what I'm saying? We go after the same clients, and I win some, and he wins some. But you understand what I mean? But we still in the game, but I stand on my own too. So to wrap up what I'm saying, and to wrap up this whole thing, I want you to always remember that there's somebody out there. We only get to shine so long, brother. We only get to be out in the sunshine, popping, money coming in for so long. I mean, for a lot of you cats, I want you to take your chance to even stand in the sun. I mean, even if it's short-lived, at least you did it, partner. You know what I'm saying? At least you touched the money once in your life. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of cats who won't. You know what I'm saying? Their whole life is going to be spent sitting in some cubicle, arguing with cats, and looking around saying, why am I still here? You know what I'm saying? Don't let that be your life. But once you succeed, don't look down on people. Don't talk like you ain't never been there, partner. Don't sit here and think that you didn't eat Top Ramen with everybody else for a nickel coming out the supermarket. You dig? Trying to make special concoctions with Top Ramen. Don't lie about how you got here. You know what I'm saying? Humble yourself. And know that right now, the world is smiling on you. The sun is shining. Let's make this money. But also keep in the back of your brain, you came up, homie, attacking the world. Someone's coming too. It's the way the game is. It's never going to stop. You know what I'm saying? But do yourself a favor. I'm trying to help you when you start up your grind, when you start to building. Think about how to humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? What I do, I'm going to give you some of the tactics I do. When a cat comes up to me and he says, oh, Freeman, the way, you know why everything's going good for you? It's because you went to law school. Law school got nothing to do. I don't do law. You know what I'm saying? Law helps me to protect what I built. Now, a lot of cats get that mixed up and think I should be a lawyer. That's a sucker to the game. I make more money not being a lawyer, and I get to sit down and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Why would I go spend 12 hours so I can, protect somebody else's money? So I can have the title of a lawyer? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have the chips. Rewind the tape, Freeman would rather have the chips. But, you know what I'm saying? People think that that's it. But what I usually tell them is this. I always tell them, hey, you know what I'm saying? I just happen to be at the right place at the right time with the right hustle. You dig? You know what I'm saying? I just feel happy that what I did paid off. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that was really planned. This is something that just came about. You know what I'm saying? And I always try to extend my hand to anybody who want to know anything. You know what I'm saying? Any books I read, anything I may have come across, how I do anything. You know what I'm saying? I try to help everybody out because I know that it was just luck for me. And I would be a lie to sit here and tell you that it was something else. I happened to open the business right at the mouth of the river, you dig? And things came to me. And I thank God. And I was smart enough to stack my chips and build a foundation that even today, years and years later after the beginning of the business, I sit here in my, sweats in front of a computer right now talking to you like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm the king of business. I'm really not the king of business. This is just one man with one plan that got it done, you dig? You know what I'm saying? I'm not the king of this stuff. I'll never have claim to be. You know what I'm saying? But humble yourself in front of other people, because realistically, I don't want you to put a bar up. A lot of cats go into this game, they talk so much, popping so much yang on the streets and popping so much in a book that you think, they putting artificial bars up in front of the game. You discouraging other folks from going into the hustle because you lying about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They think you are some magical Negro. You understand what I mean? And realistically, you ain't. You a square cat, same as me. You know what I'm saying? That had an idea and decided to apply game and put a little bit of, put the wheels on the truck and push the hustle downhill, you dig? That's what I did. That's what most people do. But I don't want you to ever lie and be so self-righteous and condescending towards people that are trying to get into this game. You know what I'm saying? Control yourself. Because a lot of this stuff comes back to haunt you. You know why the cat, I'm going to give you a quick story. You know why the cat, why I went when I left the business and started my own? The cat on the last interview, right? He said, Freeman, I don't think you're going to be good at the profession that I'm doing right now. He blatantly told me that. And then he said, but then I just trying to twist it on him, and I said, that doesn't make any sense. You gave me the hardest work in here. You even told me it was the hardest work. So if I'm doing the hardest work, and you telling me that I'm not gonna be good at it, I said, would you tell your son that? If I was your son and your son was sitting here under somebody else, would you tell him what you're telling me? And he just looked at me. And you know, this is a young Freeman in the game. This is not, you know, not the well-seasoned right now, you know what I'm saying, person that I am that can control my temper. But I told the cat, I said, when I see you on the street, we ain't friends. If I see you anywhere, we ain't friends. From this point on, we enemies. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought this cat must have really thought to himself that that desk and these BS laws on these books were not going to stop me from hopping over that desk and putting the fear of every black stereotype movie he ever seen. So I was going to send him somewhere. But I walked out because I was thinking about my chips. And I vowed to myself, if I ever saw this cat, if we ever cross paths like we do now in some of this business, you know, I come in with a vengeance. I'm cutting throats on this cat. Everybody associated with him is diseased, you dig? So what I'm trying to tell you, and that didn't sound so, that sounded kind of self-righteous. That didn't sound like the humble Freeman that I'm advocating. But what I'm trying to tell you is, bring yourself down a notch in this game. Stay true to the discipline that it really takes to make money in this hustle. You know, you really got to be about it. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to be without it. You understand what I'm saying? You really got to stay on your grind. This is not a sprint. This is endurance with this business, with this hustle, with money. These cats are making money forever. I was just watching Mad Men, and the cat said Clorox has been in business since 1913. What if one of us had Clorox? I wish I had Clorox. Pour some bleach on things. I mean, all they doing is putting chemicals and water together, putting it in the bottle, and charging you $1. I mean, man. So think about what can possibly be. Don't let your ego mess up your business. It will. You setting up yourself for plenty of enemies. Do not let your ego destroy what you built. Do not let this self-righteous thinking that people have destroy what you are and what you have done to get this far. As of this time, man, this is the Freeman. I think this is like show number 4. You dig? If we in this podcast number 4. Thanks for riding with me. Do me a favor on these podcasts, partner. I'm trying to reach as many black folks as possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to really build something. It's free. Oh, and let me throw in something that's a discrepancy that most cats think. All the sponsors you see on the riseandgrind.com, they're black owned. Okay? This is black companies. I'm preaching what I'm selling. I'm doing what I'm telling you I'm doing. You dig? You know what I'm saying? They're black owned. I'm not charging any of them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pubbing up other people's businesses for free. You know what I'm saying? This is not my hustle. This is my passion to give back to my folks in a meaningful way. So when you hear me talking slang and all this stuff, it's because I'm really trying to make sure you know that I'm talking to you. Other people could be listening all over the world, but I'm talking to you. So until next time, partner, this is your boy Daniel Freeman, and let's get this money. You know what I'm saying? Let's really make a lot of this stuff happen. It's a recession. You know what I'm saying? And if it caught you off guard, it never will again. Keep listening to the Rise and Grind, and I'm out.